Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I have this new addition to talk about so many thoughts in my mind about AI and the development of art. Generally speaking, I feel so bored lately. Last week, no, 2 weeks ago, I had a conversation about AI drama that is popped up in China. It gets so famous, everyone's talking about it, and then the view gets skyrocket. And then guess what? It just died down. And then whenever I check on Xiaohongshu again, I get similar kind of AI drama. Show me all the time, and it gets so boring because apparently if you see one AI drama actress, how they talk, the way they act, and then there are tons of other people use AI, just gonna generating the same thing. And you just get bored right away. So it's right. When you use AI, it's very easy to duplicate things, very easy to copy style, very easy to see the things that is exactly the same because they're very good at generating things that's similar if you have an example. And how can you copyright that? I don't know. How can you copyright that one image that created, for example, this character that I talked about last year, 2 weeks ago, this AI generated actress? How do you copyright that? I have no idea. So it made me think about, and I was thinking, it's getting so boring because for my own business, I don't really have to generate anything with AI except using, I do, not PowerPoint, what is it? Proposal. When I write proposal, I work with designer to create images, and then a lot of time it helps my English writing. I have to say, using AI to do that, it really helps with the speed. And if you have, I have an idea and I want to generating an explanation image, that really helps. But when it comes to artwork, generating images and creative things, I find I kind of hit the rock. It doesn't really align with my imagination. And I keep thinking there must be a way that AI, because the existence of AI, the new form of art must exist somewhere in the future. And I did a little research on the side just to discuss with you guys here because apparently I want to have a conversation about it. These 2 years since I started, the beginning of this year, I started live streaming because I came back from China and see the difference between how people using technologies and how regular people actually just following all the trends, and big companies keep giving us fear of something that we have to do. And for example, if we see someone start making money, a lot of money on AI with AI tool, generating image or videos get viral somehow, and then we start to think, oh, maybe it's time for me to do it. And then you pay a lot of money to get a credit to go online, doing all these AI generated things, and then you realize you just somehow didn't really have a purpose why you're doing it. And the purpose you're doing it is because you won't follow other people to try. I'm using this channel to documenting all this progress, and things I noticed and discovered. And then, of course, on the way, I also wanted to talk about taste because I think that's the one single very big skill that we have to develop, because since AI can generate everything. There's one thing I'm wrong about. Is yes, AI can generate everything, but a lot of things are generating based on mass production of things, the average of it. If you want to have your own idea, your own breakthrough, we have to think outside the box, and we have to try to break into something new. And that's what I want to talk about this live streaming. So I did some research. I was thinking every single creativity, the format that we have experience so far, for example, image and turn into photography, video become cinema, and music become, the song that people, the celebrities or musicians are creating, or concerts, right? The music become that product, and writing become book, printing and become books as well, and the internet become website, and then the place for people to gather, also social media. And people start to share your, like everyone can be famous on social media somehow, although it's not that easy. But it is a way for a lot of people to show themselves online, to be known by majority of people. And then there's a trend. Now we understand the algorithm. Then every important medium eventually discover its own language. And I was thinking, what is the AI language? Which is I'm not 100% sure we get there yet. We're not there yet because every single image I feel like I'm generating, yes, I have my idea, but it's so much unpredictable, and then we all know that AI generated image, or a lot of things are based on existing artists. Yes, a lot of people argue, even with artists, human being, we have memories of what is good image we've seen, and then we're copy somewhere from some famous artist, or the things you see that you get inspired. But for me, art is so much about experimenting, the process of it. And you can experience that kind of process and experiment with AI as well, but it's different because there is no certain format. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you get my meaning, but for me, has to be a new way somehow, especially for young people, if they grew up with this tool in their hand, which is AI. As a collaborator, what kind of new medium it can be done? So I have some little research, and I want to share some of the artists that using AI as a collaborator to create their own art form. And also, I also think, because lately I read book, and then I have conversation with artists, with entrepreneurs, and a lot of people are talking about how AI going to change our way of creating in the new, like in the next 5 to 10 years. While at the same time, I'm like playing games. I'm addicted to play game recently. I don't know why all of a sudden I started to, because my husband got switched to, and I started to play Kirby. This one and this one. I have to say, I never really into game a lot. Like, I used to play game because I have to make interactive art, and I wanted to be able to, I want to play, I like playing, but I also most of the time find game is a bit too overwhelming for me, and I couldn't get it. I don't know why recently, probably because I really think AI is starting to get a bit on my nerve, and I started to think it's a bit boring in some way, that it doesn't really make me feel playful anymore. And I started to play game. I think it's such an interesting, I have to say, it's like art form for me. Yes, it's different than traditional art format, or it's somehow like an extension of digital art, but it doesn't give you space to interpret it. Instead, it creates this whole universe and world for you to interact, and then to talk, to experience with you are becoming that character. And it's super exciting, because why I like Kirby the most is because the color and the world, the simulation that gives me, I get super excited after I play the game. I couldn't even sleep. If I play game 2 hours before sleep, I couldn't even sleep. That's how crazy it is. And I realize how sensitive my sensories are, like my senses getting so opened up, and I get excited. And I start to question, is game the new art form I like? It's different when I read a book to experience imaginative world. It's different when I go to an exhibition to see, using some time to look at one piece of art, because it's every single experience I find is different because of different format and medium. But when it comes to AI, it doesn't really give me the excitement yet. That's what I say. I don't know that's what you think, but if you have some excitement when you see some AI generated thing that excites you, that make you think it's part of art, please share with me. I wanted to know because I think that's what I'm interested in to know. I did find a couple artists that I find is interesting because it's new format or art that is different. If no AI exists, then this kind of work not going to exist. For example, Zheng, I think probably that's her name, how to pronounce it. She joined with the robotic system. Is that she created this robot. You probably have seen it before. And this arm is trained on 2 decades of her own drawings. I'm pretty sure there's AI involved. And then it will just let it create art by itself based on her own drawing. And she will draw with the robot arm live, like almost like collaborate with it together. That they describe as like first AI model collected by a major culture institution. So I guess this is a pretty good example when you're imagining how human collaborate with AI in a new kind of art form. It's very literal. So it is her and the AI robotic arm that trained by her own drawing for 2 decades. I don't know how that works, but there is time in there, right? There's a playful element of time. There's this live exhibition elements of drawing art. So it is artists collaborate with AI. There's another work, Zheng, there's one exhibition he did called Bob, artificial creature with its own behavioral system. So apparently this art piece in the middle of the exhibition start with, I saw a video about it. Maybe I can show you here. Try not to. So I don't like the creature they made there. It's kind of creepy. And then you just using the AI, using the app, allow the guest, invite to create their own shrines and feed Bob with variety of different terms. So give this interactive elements. Once you feed this creature and it start to grow, so each person, I guess, each guest will come to the exhibition and interact with their phone to feed the creature with different elements. As he eats, Bob may grow bigger, smaller, or even die, as his fate is quite literally in the human participant's hand. So you don't really know how this creature will develop based on each participant's feeding the system, like the choice. So that's another example that I find it fascinating about how humans interact with AI artwork. I find so many different examples, but I think this 2 example is the most convincing for me at this moment. It's considered as super little new kinds of art form because of AI. There are other kinds of digital art, AI generated with data. There's Data Museum, I think, in Los Angeles. I wanted to go take a look when I have time, because that's something that I'm interested in the future of the creative format. Because when I have conversation with a lot of artists or creators or entrepreneurs, a lot of tech people for sure now are interested in art because they're interested in more about what kind of things or what kind of creation, especially online, when there's no human touch, how they touch people's heart emotionally, because tech is still considered as like a cold thing. But as I mentioned before, when I play the game, it doesn't make me feel cold at all. When I watch animation like Ghibli animation, it doesn't make me feel cold at all. So there is some kind of element, even if it's digitalized, it still make people feel this really warm relationship with that creation. So why we feel a lot of AI things are far from us, even, yeah, it's convenient for the way how we do research. It's convenient for different things to gather information and develop different kind of systems if we want to. I think that's the best part about using AI. But somehow, maybe it's really difficult if you consider AI as some kind of collaborator when you are trying to translate your own emotion in a certain way. So it's a bit far from what real art is. That's why a lot of artists, I think, hate the AI art, this phrase. I'm not denying it, but I'm pretty open to this kind of interpretation, these kind of possibilities. So I started to think, I have a dialogue with ChatGPT and think about on my own, what kind of art in the future, if there's some certain artist creates certain works with AI, what kind of works that actually convince me it's quite artistic and creative. So I have some ideas about it. I think the collaboration with AI should be alive. By alive, I mean when an artist creates a piece of work, we don't tend to see the behind the scene most of the time. And that actually makes it more mysterious. When I film artists, hundreds of artists at the beginning of my career, what made me so fascinated about it is to see what's behind their art piece, because I want to know what's the process of it. But a lot of people actually don't really care. They want to see the final result, and then gives them different way to interpret it. Each person have their own life experience, so when even everyone's seeing the work in a different way, they interpret it with different thoughts and emotions, which is a pretty good reason to create it with AI. For example, if we have a painting painted or digital art created by some real artist, human artist, and then let a lot of people looking at it, and each person, how they interpret this artwork with their own emotion, those emotions are the data that collect maybe 10,000 people looking at the art, and then the data will be their fear, their happiness, their thoughts, their emotions, and those data will be collected by AI. And then based on all this data, giving the feedback to the original artist, and then the original artist will create a certain thing on top of that. So you become this interpretation and feedback loop between a real artist and the AI. Also, what's interpreted or what's added on top are the data from majority of people, so from the masses. I think if there's a work like that, I will definitely go see. This is just really my imagination of thinking how the art can be alive because of the real human touch, and then the AI advantage. Because AI advantage is all about collecting data and then finding the patterns, giving feedback in the very fast way, and then using the generated data become certain. It doesn't even have to come out like the image or the art itself, because that will narrow down how artists perceive the image. Maybe the interpretation becomes a story, like words written story. An artist read a story using human brain to imagine even more amazing piece of work. So this loop can repeat or not repeat, and eventually become a finished art piece. That's my imagination. I don't know. That's like one interpretation of me thinking about AI art being live. And also, in terms of fashion, of course, it will be way easier because fashion for me is a form of art, but for a lot of people probably it's not. It's a way of dressing yourself. It shows your identity. So there are different ways that people think about fashion. But I always imagining, I remember when we had an event 2 years ago in Tokyo. That time there's no AI yet. And everyone's talking about their imagination of the future. What if technology is so advanced and we can create whatever we want? I remember I was talking about digital garments that can change color and the shimmer of the clothes and shine from within, and changing colors and changing warmth and changing shapes based on your heartbeat, based on your emotion. It's not like that your clothes can show if you're sad and become gray. That's not what I mean. Way more artistic than that, because every human being carries so much emotion with us all the time. I'm happy right now. I'm also very excited. I'm also a little bit nervous. I'm also a little bit tired. So all these emotions mixed together with my own heartbeat and my own temperature can be all the data that translated to the AI. And AI can right away some kind of device in our clothes and translate that data into interpretation for the colors, the things that the patterns of the clothes that show on the garments. And yeah, of course, this is AI generated image, but I like all these color palettes. Then it gives this imagination of what kind of garments it can actually happen in the future using, our temperature and then the way our emotion shows. It's just like so much in my mind when I think about if I don't want to use AI, just create an image, making image, because yes, we can think about making commercial work or a piece of a character, for example, and you can draw it or you can paint it. If you have the skill to draw, I still believe people will enjoy drawing. If you really have the ability to draw, you still enjoy the process of drawing, because art is about the process of enjoying the experience. When AI took that experience, it's become generating that one piece of work that you didn't really go through your mind. Sometimes I feel like I'm forced to go to one direction. Oh, I can add certain things on top because of the image already generating with AI. But if I'm not an artist myself, I don't draw too much, but I know the process of how to add a creative idea on top of each other and how you struggle, and then when you almost like a fishing the idea, right? But you don't have the process when it comes to AI. That's why the process can lay into the experience of developing this loop with AI. So having a conversation, giving whatever human can create, and let AI do this job, which is good at interpreting, gathering data, analyzing, and then become this collaboration. And then eventually let the human artist to decide at the end what is the result, which is the case that we always talk about. I don't know, I feel like that would be very exciting if I go to a museum with a bunch of artists collaborating with AI, and then yeah, and also this kind of digital fashion, garments. I think there are a lot of people, like a company already making similar things like that, but it's not quite the same as I imagined. I just recently, I didn't really see a lot of exciting exhibition that I want to see. There's one exhibition about robot. I think the next month, I think middle of next month, I will go check in Tokyo. That will make me excited, because right now AI equals making fast decision and generating fast image or commercial or scripts, or and then it equals making a lot of money. A lot of people want to jump into it, which is not wrong. I mean, that's your choice. And I'm pretty sure just to practice and then be open-minded about it, you don't know what's going to happen next. With my previous live streaming, I did talk about articles that talk about the dark side of AI, which I'm not denying as well. I mean, there's always pros and cons. So I really hoping people who use AI can have more direction, open-minded of creating something outside the original art form, so we can make something new. And I wanted to see something new that will keep me motivated to create things with AI and keep me motivated to see the future. Otherwise, it would just keep repeating the same thing, and then the first AI drama can be a big thing, but the 10th one looks exactly like the same, the first, where it just some story different, or the face looks more realistic. That doesn't make me that much excited. Let me know what you think. This is like a sudden live streaming here. I just want to have this conversation keep going. I will keep posting videos like this because I think it's very important to talk about it, even though nobody knows what's going to happen in the near future. And even when I'm working with young people who learning a 3D design, and then all this software, everyone's so good at using all this software, but the purpose of making becomes so blurred now, because if AI can create a lot of things that in the future maybe just one click, where is the process? What values the most? I think people are still looking for the friction of things, the resistance of human creating stuff, and then there's there's difficulty that we need to overcome, and then it gives us a different perspective forward. That's what humans are good at, and I want to see more artists using their own skill to create a work that maybe never existed before if there's no AI. Now there is AI, so there must be some kind of work artists are doing, like these artists I'm talking about. But this is a very literal example of how artists using AI to making something new. If you are interested, you should take a look and then try to break into something new. That's what I mean. I hope this helps, and I hope can become a conversation. People can talk with me. You can comment on my video, or you can share with your friends, artist friend, gather together. Just talk about AI, how you can work in a positive way, not taking what we already were good at. And the people already know what AI is. Like, it is copying a lot of data and generating something new. We all know what's happening. So we are looking for something new, and I hope it's going to be here soon. Thank you so much for your time, and I will keep researching on things like this, and I'm still very interested, looking forward to see what new technology and art, combination of them. I don't think it's this tech and art, this combination, it's ruined by AI. I hope it's not, because it's supposed to be magical, like game. How much game can give me, how much joy it gives me, it actually gives me hope for the future. If AI can help people create more world, the digital world or the physical world, if AI can start to learn spatial, right, in the real physical world, I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing right now, because AI cannot be just stay in the digital world. It will be happening in our real world, which is not something that we cannot really control much. Yes, we can. What we can control is how we create with it as individual. And yeah, I hope to see more new work people do. And I hope that's what my channel can bring a little bit positivity to the world. Thanks so much for your time. I'll see you guys in the next video here.